Welcome to Unorganized Thought. Today is sort of the sequel to our Marvel predictions on Comic-Con. And so this time it's Star Wars predictions of what may happen or what may be revealed during the Comic-Con at home. So before we get started, like, comment, and subscribe. It's so hard not like to say that unironically, but
I know. It helps if you do the voice.
Please consider
doing those
things because we're looking to grow as a channel, and so if you watch it and aren't subscribed yet, then like we'd really appreciate that. But anyways, what have you got for us, Kieran?
Well, I think that I don't know. I still have this fear that the Comic-Con at home is just gonna not be what we think it is at all. You know, like it's just gonna come and go and be like, wow, it happened, and nothing came of it. You know, like Disney and Marvel and Star Wars aren't gonna show anything.
Mm.
And so in that case, we'll look quite dumb now. But so to our audience, this podcast and last week's podcast are continuing under the impression that it will go on like somewhat of a normal Comic-Con, you know, where big studios and big things will give lots of information.
Yeah,
we're going off that assumption. Could be wrong.
Yeah, and like
so don't come at us later and be mad.
The only thing that he means by like the same structure as a normal Comic-Con is that each studio will hopefully have like a Zoom call, like panel that where they'll reveal certain things. Like we're not expecting there to be any questions or like any like sort of or any sort reveals. Of people gathered at all. You just for some of the higher ups to come and to
give us some information.
Yeah. And so
that's all I mean.
And so what information should we expect
and so
from Star Wars?
Yeah, that's kind of the question of today, is that what do we think that we'll be able to expect from Star Wars? Because very similarly to Marvel, it hasn't been as long, but since the most recent movie came out, say what you will, well, I guess Mando came out after, but
kind of during,
is that there hasn't been anything, you know? Yeah. We've heard some rumors about some TV shows, but very similarly to Marvel, there's just nothing, you know?
We don't know what to expect about the universe continuing.
Yeah, and
if
so
the universe is going to continue.
Yeah. I think that what we can expect is that we'll get probably some announcements regarding the at least two shows that we do know they want to be working on, which is Kenobi and Cassian Andor.
Cassian Andor, I every time I've heard it, it's just sort of like,
I guess you're doing that.
I guess that's what you're running with, you know? I didn't realize that Rogue One, and specifically that character in Rogue One, were that big of a hit.
Yeah, I didn't know they performed that well with audiences. I don't know. I know that they contracted most of the Rogue One cast for like at least 3 movies or something, which is kind of questionable
because they
killed everyone.
Died at the end.
But I'm guessing it was for reasons like this. Maybe we'll get a look at Cassian Andor. Maybe we'll get a look at Saw Gerrera's militia, and Jyn will be there. You know, see what the adventures of like militant Saw Gerrera and see kind of what was going on with that side of the rebellion. Maybe to do like a show with Chirrut Imwe and Baze Malbus. That would be awesome. Those are the characters that I would want to see a TV show of.
Yeah.
See like the Temple Guard, like just see some origins with those guys. You know,
and like
that'd be awesome.
Even then, it's just sort of like these guys were good as like a once-off. You know.
Yeah, and I don't want them to milk it.
And yeah, exactly. Like I feel like there's only I really only feel that bad can come from it.
Yeah.
You know, and like that's usually a good place to be with Star Wars because otherwise it'll disappoint you. But like, you know,
it's not how expectations should have to work.
Well, yeah, but like, you know, like since like I liked Cassian Andor, I thought he was a cool dude, and that was I liked Rogue One well enough. I just don't. It feels like it just feels like a cash grab when you
It,
say
it really seems like they're
Cassian
just
Andor
making
series,
it for the sake of making
exactly.
it.
Like it's like
But I think that we can probably expect to see some sort of information
have they been
about that.
shooting anything about that?
Not that I know of.
Because Rogue One came out a long time
I know,
ago.
and so who knows? Maybe they'll just say, "Hey, this is still happening, and here's who's writing it or something," you know.
Mm-hmm.
And I think we could probably expect the same from Kenobi, you know, like at least a timeline for those two because they just said that those exist last time, you know.
Yeah.
And so maybe if nothing else, we'll just get some dates for those, you know. I think it's so hard to say. I don't think it would be crazy to possibly expect that they'll announce more shows for Disney Plus.
Yeah,
You know?
I definitely see them.
I think that that's definitely a possibility, and I think it's a likely possibility, especially when you look at the volume of shows that Marvel has working.
Yeah.
I think that, to me at least, it seems like that they want to kind of have those things kind of tandem almost.
I bet we'll see lots
I
about
think-
Mando season 2.
And I'm getting to that.
Okay.
Is that I think that Star Wars is gonna be trying to build itself similar to the MCU because the MCU is just so solid, you know, and so I think Disney is gonna want to start building their Star Wars franchise similarly,
Looking to diversify a little bit.
for better or worse, whatever happens. But I think that they're gonna try to look to the Marvel model more than anything to try and see what they can do with it.
Could be.
And so I think that will mean more Disney Plus shows, especially after the success of Mandalorian.
Mm-hmm.
And so with that, I think that we will get a lot about Mando season 2. I don't know if this is ambitious. I don't think it is. I think that we might get a trailer for it for Mando season 2. I think that we'll probably get a trailer.
Well, yeah, because they started shooting. Like,
They started shooting
as soon
As soon as the first episode came out, they were shooting.
Yeah.
And so that's supposed to come out. Well, it was supposed to come out in the summer, this summer.
Yeah.
So whether they delayed it or not, why they need to delay their TV shows
when they
that
have
don't
the
have
volume.
theater releases and they have the volume, I don't know why they're doing that, because Mando doesn't interact with any. Like, there's nothing going on in that time period. That it's not like Marvel where they have to worry about if we do this, then we spoil Black Widow and this. There's nothing going on there. Everyone knows what happens, you know, in that area of time.
And one thing that I hope with a Mando announcement is just any clear indication as to who will actually be in it.
Yes.
Because we've gotten so many rumors as to like just a ridiculous amount of characters from everywhere that might be in this. Like, first was Ahsoka, then I heard
Ahsoka and Rex.
Ahsoka and potentially Rex coming in with that.
Well,
then I heard,
the picture that Filoni posted.
Did he post that, or was that leaked by somebody else?
Filoni posted a picture that was concept art, but everyone assumed it was for Mando. He never said it was for Mando.
That's true.
It was a concept art of Ahsoka and Rex riding a dewback. That's all it was. And everyone assumed it was for Mando.
Yeah.
People think, and so maybe that's just for their own show.
Mm-hmm.
But I think that it would be cool for it to be for Mando because those are two people that we know are running around in that time.
Yeah, and there was it was like I'm pretty sure it's confirmed or that Temuera Morrison is on the cast, and everyone was like, "Oh, he's gonna be Boba Fett," and it's like, he's probably Rex if that concept art is to be believed. Maybe he's both. That would be an interesting dynamic to see Boba Fett face to face with a clone.
I've always wanted that.
Yeah.
Which that's in a comic book and
and so like
but,
that would be cool. But
again, though, who knows?
We got rumors of Mara Jade being in it.
Really?
Rumors of
I didn't see that one.
I saw that one, and I saw rumors of Brie Larson playing Mara Jade in it.
No.
And I was like,
I saw
what is
there
happening?
Was rumors a long time ago about Brie being Ahsoka.
I don't know.
That
It's
was
just
long.
been everything.
That's
now there's
crazy. I haven't heard some of those.
Cal uh, whatever his
Yeah,
last name
Cal
is,
Kestis being in it.
being in it, and it's just like all these crazy
But
rumors.
that doesn't make sense.
There's a funny
because
meme about it.
The actor that's Cal is like the age of Cal. Like
Yeah, so you have to
he's
be
that
older.
age, so
You'd
they'd
have
have
to
to
be older.
make him older, which defeats the purpose of having that live action actor.
Yeah.
You know, why would you do that? But yeah, it's crazy. There's and
I
that
just want clarity on what it actually is, because anyone can say anything.
Exactly.
It doesn't mean anything until
I know.
Disney like confirms it, and it seems like Ahsoka is going to be in it, which I've gone on this rant before. I have my reservations about
this
it.
is the thing is, especially hearing this person's gonna be in it and this person.
Boba
I
Fett's
don't
gonna be in
want
it.
them to wreck Mando.
I don't want them
You
to
know,
pull a
'cause it's so
Spider-Man
good.
3.
Right now,
Or
I don't want
Spider-Man.
them to oversaturate it and like, well, look at all this stuff that we're doing, you know, and like, and it can be done. You can put these things in there, you know. Just don't. You just have to do it well.
Don't pull a Fantastic Beasts: The Crimes of Grindelwald,
What did they do?
where you have, oh look, this is Nagini. Nagini's
Oh, yeah,
in it.
yeah,
Look,
exactly.
Here's another guy with
Yes.
an unbreakable curse. Here's Dumbledore. Dumbledore's in it.
Yeah.
And here's Nicholas Flamel as well.
Yeah.
Remember Nicholas Flamel? He's in it too.
Yeah.
And it's just this overcrowded.
It's crazy.
Remember the Lestranges? There's a bunch of
Wow.
Lestranges in this.
We
Just convoluted.
we have we have a plan for that. Talking about that, so look forward to that. But yeah, like I don't want them to hurt Mando by trying to throw all this crazy stuff in.
Yeah, because it doesn't
But
have to connect.
It doesn't
That's
have
part
to connect.
of what was good about
but
it.
I do like the idea of having certain characters.
Yeah.
I think it would be awesome if he's trying to take the child to Luke.
Yeah.
Like trying to form this new Jedi Order, and then maybe Ahsoka will be kind of the middle grounds, you know? To be like, well, we can get him there. You know, we'll help you get this child to Luke Skywalker.
And I also think it would be cool if Ahsoka has had run-ins with Luke, and she's like, yeah, Luke's a good dude, but he's
she's
a little
not about the
he's a
Jedi
little
life.
too much Jedi for me. So like, I'll take the kid, you know,
Yeah.
and like,
well, but I don't
she's
think
sort
that
of
she
this
wants
bit
to
of a
deal
renegade.
with the Jedi life, you know.
Yeah.
And so I think she would help. Like he would be like maybe Mando runs into them and sees her do some Jedi stuff and be like,
You're one of those sorcerers.
take this, you know? And then she'll be like, no, I'm not about that, but I'll help you get it to the
Yeah.
one who is, you know? And I think that'd be awesome.
Mhm.
But like, that's it. I don't know. Like, I don't know that I don't think that all the rumors will be true.
Yeah.
Like,
They better not be.
I hope not, you know? Like, I don't think Cal will be in it. I think that's just pure speculation. That's people going, well, who might be alive at that time, you know? We don't even know if Cal will be alive at that time, you know?
Yeah.
We also don't like. I think Brie Larson being in it. That's someone just making stuff up, you know.
And even
that's
and,
pure
and
speculation.
if she is, I would be a lot more inclined to say that she's just a new character. You know, like that she
something
just plays.
what's her face? The
Gina
shot.
Carano.
Yeah, what's she called?
Cara Dune.
Cara Dune.
Yeah,
you know,
like, that's a
I
new
think
character.
Yeah, I think
Like,
it's going to be a lot more like that.
You don't have to just assume that she's gonna be a character that they're pulling in. You know, like she could just be her own character. You know.
One, there's been that rumor that Rosario Dawson will be Ahsoka, and I think that that's way more likely than it being Brie Larson. I also think I heard that Mara Jade rumor when they were working on the other movies, when they were working on the sequel trilogy. I thought I heard a casting call that JJ maybe wanted to include her.
Yeah.
And so like that's not a new rumor, but they wouldn't cast Brie for that role.
Like the thing to remember is that this is just after, like, this is a couple of years after Return of the Jedi.
That's when Mara Jade would be running around, though. That's canonically when she was around. Is around 5 years after Endor, which is when Mando is.
Yeah, and so just like Brie Larson does at first glance seem a little bit too young for that.
Well,
but she's not.
I'm not even going off too young. She just doesn't.
She doesn't really.
She's not Mara Jade. Mara Jade has red hair and green eyes.
Yeah.
Brie Larson has brown hair and brown eyes.
Yeah.
Like, it's just not the same at all.
Yeah.
You know? But we did see, we don't know if the internet has seen the picture of Sebastian Stan as Luke Skywalker, and they have the exact same face. And so, one, I'm petitioning for them to just make Mark Hamill young and put him in there. But if we don't do that, just put Sebastian Stan in there, give him some Luke hair, put him in the clothes. no one will notice. And it will, even like I wouldn't suggest CGIing his face because I'm fine with just accepting that this
Suspension of
is suspension
disbelief.
of disbelief. But like that'd be awesome.
Yeah.
Sebastian Stan can do action and stuff. Give us a Jedi Knight Luke Skywalker. Like that'd be so awesome. And I don't
Everything
think
that
that
we were deprived
I don't
of.
know that would happen, but I think that would be an awesome thing for them to do. And see, I think that it'd be tough for them to pull off. There would be a lot of original trilogy fans that are like, I can't believe they're doing this. But if they did it well, it would be fine. And Mark Hamill posted that picture of him and Sebastian Stan, so he knows about it, and he like I think he made a joke about it. And so if Mark were to give his blessing about that,
And you know that he'd be on set helping,
Yeah,
if they asked him to.
exactly. And so like and if Filoni's involved, I trust it.
Yeah.
Because he will not lead them astray. And so that we kind of went off track just yelling about stuff, but I think those just ideas to put out in the world. What else was I gonna say? There was rumors about Filoni's Luke's Jedi Order show, and so like everything seems to be working around that area now. Is post Empire world, and that's a good place. That's where we should have been going for a while, like instead of doing Han Solo and all this crazy stuff, this move forward. And now it's not really forward because you've made up all this crazy fan fiction. That I'm just calling it fan fiction, even though it's canon Disney stuff. But like, this is a good area to work in, and stay away, like go to the other side of the galaxy, do original stuff. Like that's why I like Mando, because it's detached from this normal stuff.
Yeah.
And so like I think that Filoni series, I don't think that would be crazy for us to hear something about it. I think that definitely could happen, and them announce like our next animated show, because I'm pretty sure that whatever their Resistance show, is that done? That's
no idea.
That's
Nobody
done or
ever-
ending,
I
but
didn't pay
nobody
attention
watched
to
it. And so there should hopefully go on. The rumor was that Filoni was working on a new show with the style of Clone Wars, which is good. Or Clone Wars season 7, 8, whatever the new one was, 7.
7, I think.
And so that's good. That's good animation. That's cool. And so announce
Is that the
you know?
same show as Luke's Jedi Order?
I don't know. I don't know. I don't know the
Animation's the way to go, man.
I don't know the validity of either of those claims.
Especially with Filoni, because that's his world.
That's his element.
And you can have Mark Hamill voice Luke Skywalker
Exactly.
forever.
That's what I'm saying.
Like
And
just
he'll do it.
do the Legends animated.
Yeah. I said that. Did I mention that on the podcast?
I don't think so.
That I think they should do the Legends stuff animated. Just do it in an animated movie.
Yeah.
You give Harrison Ford some money, he'll come back.
Yeah.
Give Hamill will probably do it for free.
You'll pay him, but
you'd give him money, but he loves that character.
If he gets to actually be Luke Skywalker,
and not some random Jake Skywalker, he'll love it.
Yeah.
Get Billy Lord to play her mom.
Yeah.
Like, it's a totally attainable thing. Disney, Star Wars, I hope you listen to this, because I'd be happy if you took that idea. Like, that would be incredible. And
that's how you please all the fans.
Exactly.
Just do it and say this is the alternate version. Like, people
just
will
say
figure it out.
universes. Like,
people will figure it out. Like, especially if it's animated,
Because-
that makes it that disconnects it.
Yeah.
That makes them able to make them young still.
because you're not gonna get you can't do that now
You
either
can't do
way
it anymore.
without recasting. But if you made it animated, it could work.
you can do it, and I think that they should.
I think that would be an awesome idea.
Yeah.
Imagine if they announced that,
That'd
and we
be
were just
great.
dead on.
That'd be great.
That would be incredible.
Yeah.
Because there's like that would be the way to please your fans.
Mm-hmm.
And I've been saying this since the sequel trilogy came out, is just do that, and like just make multiple versions of it.
Yeah.
Because so many people are unhappy with what you did.
Yeah.
And so if you were to just do an alternate one, if other people are unhappy about that, maybe you're pleasing the people that were mad about the other one, you know? And then everyone's happy. They say, I like this version, that's the version I like. The other people can like the other version.
Yeah.
Then everyone's happy.
Yeah,
There's no
exactly.
downside to
Exactly.
this. The only downside that I see, the reason that I don't think they'll ever do it, is that it would somewhat be Disney saying,
We were
going back
wrong.
on themselves.
Yeah, and they.
But
yeah.
but Disney, listen to me. It doesn't have to be that. I won't. You know, I will never say it. I'll never say that that's what you're doing. I'll just be so appreciative that you're doing this.
Yeah.
You know, I won't talk smack about it. I won't say that you're admitting you're wrong. Because I just want it. You know.
Exactly.
But kind of moving on is just that. Moving on and kind of there's not much else besides this, is that I don't think it's unreasonable to think that we'll get a glimpse at what's coming next movie wise.
See, that's what I was just thinking, and I'm not sure, because like this last trilogy has been such a gong show, and like I know that Disney sees that, but they'll never say it.
Yeah.
And so I think that they're just gonna let it simmer for
That's
a while.
what I was thinking.
You know,
and maybe that just means they'll lean heavier into the TV shows.
Yeah, but I don't know. Like, I'd be surprised if we did get some sort of a tentative plan for when new main trilogy
I
things
can
are
see
gonna
it.
happen.
I can see it both ways.
But like,
Because-
what else is there to like?
Because think about it, because I completely see what you're saying. They just want to just leave it for a while, you know, get the hype up again, build the
Yeah.
the demand.
Yeah,
you know?
exactly.
But it's Disney we're talking about.
Yeah.
They will not let Star Wars sit.
And like,
It's like Tegan in the future says on a podcast they have the ticket to print money.
yeah,
They're not going to put that on hold.
yeah,
Especially Disney, especially after they've lost a bunch of money this year because of the
Yeah.
pandemic. They're going to say, Star Wars full throttle, this is the era of Disney Star Wars, you know?
Yeah.
They're going to go, here's a movie, because you saw it while they were doing the sequel trilogy. They said, this guy's got a movie now, this guy's got a movie now he has a movie. But then, luckily, they started seeing, well, that was terrible and that was terrible. So those guys are never going to touch Star Wars.
yeah,
But now you see that Taika allegedly has a Star Wars, which is great. That is the kind of thing that we want. And
yeah.
I
And
have
so
a theory.
I think we're getting spin-off movies.
I think so.
This next phase of Star Wars is going to be spin-offs.
Which is good. That's just build the universe.
And like, but I think that just like, obviously I'm not a fan of how the sequel trilogy ended up, but just to learn something from how things happened when resurrecting it, don't wait too long, because then, you know, you can't have like it's less it's less possible to have the original like core three doing their stuff, you know.
Exactly.
So
And
like,
I
don't
do
wait
think-
too long. Don't
I
wait
don't think-
don't wait till Daisy is as old as Mark Hamill.
No, I
is,
think they'll
right?
give it like
5 years.
5 to 10 years, like 3 to 7 years is what I'll say. They're gonna give it 3 to 7 years, and then they're gonna bring it back. You know,
But yeah, I think we can expect
something to happen with those characters because they're young. You know,
Yeah.
like and again, it's Disney now. It's not like because the original 3 from the original trilogy, they were young, but George told the story he wanted to tell, and so it was done.
Yeah.
You know, Star Wars was done, and then he went backwards in time and told the story of Anakin Skywalker. You know, like it wasn't really a in consideration then. You know,
Yeah.
but now you know that Disney's going to be like, these are our greatest characters ever, and they're gonna each get 500 movies.
Yeah.
You know, the other thing, is okay. So here's my theory. After watching the Mando behind the scenes stuff, I have an idea that I think if this isn't what you guys were doing, it's what you should do now.
Should we put that one back on?
Just keep it recording there. This is what you should do now if it's not what you're already doing. Is that table of people, that directors and creators that you've got in that Mandalorian gallery, that is now your round table. Like, it is a round table. Like, that's your Knights of the Round Table now. That is your Jedi Council. all of those people, I like my theory is that Mando was a test run and they were seeing, can we do this? Will this work with this team? That I think should now be the Star Wars team. You know, that is the Star Wars unit, and this is the Jedi High Council, and everything goes through them.
But you need the return of the Jedi Grand Master as well.
But you know that Filoni's always consulting with him.
It's true.
He's always going to him for advice before,
It's
you
true.
know?
It's
And
true.
so that's good. And so I think you have that council and everything goes through them, and you see it. Taika's got a movie already, well, allegedly, you know? And I think that was a pretty official announcement.
I'm not sure.
And so, but he's part of that team.
Yeah.
I would not be surprised if you start to see the rest of the people in that circle get the Star Wars movies.
And you know what, just kind of makes me upset is that what happened to Mando is exactly what should have happened
With
for
the
the
sequels.
sequel
Yeah,
trilogy.
yeah.
Because
It's
it's
totally
a
true.
diverse set of writer-directors doing their own thing on episodes, but they all talked about it and had a plan as to where it was going to go.
Filoni had the plan.
Exactly.
You know? And that's what they need for Star Wars going
That's
forward.
what they need Star Wars going forward for everything. That was my last point.
That's why I think that's why the council will be there.
Yeah.
Because Filoni and Favreau will be able to
They'll be
have
the
everything.
Feiges.
Exactly. And so I think, to me, if that's not what you guys are already doing, that's what you should do.
Yeah.
Because now you have this Star Wars power team that can continue making Star Wars good for the future.
I think that that's kind of the last thing I have to say is just that what the Star Wars franchise as a whole needs is organization.
Yes.
In where they're going forwards, because they have to learn from what just happened with the sequel trilogy. Everything needs to line up perfectly with everything else that happens.
Yeah.
You know, if Filoni is doing his Luke's Jedi Order, he has to know exactly where and how that ties in with Mando, if Mando is going to be taking the child
and I
to
think
that
and
stuff,
I think
you
it
know?
will, because
And Kenobi has to not contradict anything that happens in that region. Everything that is supposed to happen to Obi-Wan has to happen to Obi-Wan. He has to train with the ghost of Qui-Gon, or at least the voice of the ghost of Qui-Gon. He has to learn that Vader is still at large. He has to learn that Anakin is still alive. Those are two things that have to happen in that show.
Yeah.
Those are two very simple things that can be done very effectively and naturally and in an awesome way.
But there are also two things that are very easy and simple to just leave out.
Yeah.
And so for them
And I can see
to
it happening.
to lose those things breaks the entire thing, you know?
Yeah.
And so I think, it's really a toss-up of whether we'll get an announcement about new movies or not.
Yeah.
I wouldn't be surprised if they kind of announce what Taika's doing, because from my memory, that was an official announcement that Taika's got Star Wars.
Yeah.
And so I would not be surprised if they said, this is the movie he's making. You know, maybe, who knows if the scripts or anything's done, but just, this is the general story that he's going to be telling.
Yeah.
This is what it's called.
And if not that, I bet we'll get some sort of a project that is just a movie. We might even get a pretty something that is moderately into development that is a movie that we just don't know about, a spin-off movie.
It could be, yeah.
Yeah.
Totally could be. And especially if they have the volume.
Yeah.
They could be done multiple movies.
Yeah.
You know, who knows what they've been doing with that thing. And so Star Wars to me seems like a lot more of a toss-up than Marvel was, because Marvel, as barren as it was, there are still announcements there.
Yeah.
You know, and things that we knew about from before. It's like trying to speculate past what we know about Marvel. You know, there's just nothing that we know about Star Wars right now.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, that's really it.
Yeah. I'm never very optimistic about Star Wars
It's hard to
these
be
days.
optimistic about it.
And I don't really care, at this point. I was in a bit of a Star Wars mood when season 7 was coming out, when the last 4 episodes of season 7 were coming out. I was like,
that's all of season 7.
I was in sort of a prequel trilogy craze. But that has since sort of just died down after remembering how sad everything turned out.
And I think that is a good point, though, because think about that, is half of the Star Wars fan base feels like that right now, and so the big question is, what are they going to do to fix that?
About it?
And listen to me, the way you do that, animated Legends movies.
Yeah.
I'll say it again and again. Just do that.
Yeah.
It'll make people happy. Yeah. Animate the Thrawn trilogy.
Yeah.
Yeah. Or you don't even have to do that. Ask George what his sequel trilogy was.
And do that.
That's what I want.
Even better.
Never mind. Yeah, that's even better. Do that. Get
animated George
Get
trilogy.
Filoni to call George. Do the animated George trilogy. That's what I want.
And put Filoni in charge, for gosh darn sake.
Yes, please. I don't know how much I want. I want him in charge, but I also want him on the working floor,
Yeah.
It's kind of a hard balance.
It's good where he is, but it's also not good where other people are.
Yeah, that's a good way to put
it. I'm sorry, Kathleen Kennedy. I know that you've been a part of Star Wars for a long time, but
you haven't done a lot to prove that you're not a problem.
Yeah, you got to prove that you actually care about Star Wars.
Yeah, and this is kind of a point, and we don't want to turn this into rag on her. We don't know her. We don't know her relationship with it. There's that cat. We don't know her, obviously, but it seems like she's only in it for the money aspect of things, and that's the thing to me, is that's kind of what everyone on the internet has believed before. And now watching the Mando behind the scenes, she's not really proving that wrong.
Yeah.
Every time, everyone around that table is saying, "Oh, I remember when I saw Star Wars when I was a little kid," and Bryce Dallas Howard's talking about growing up with Uncle George Lucas, and Pedro's talking about how he distinctly remembers so much having the tickets and seeing the movie poster and going, and it's this big event, and everyone always has their Star Wars story.
Yeah.
But she's always there just these products and money, and it's just
and the genius of Star Wars is this. And
exactly. She's talking about how smart this was to do this and how clever and this. And it's
yeah, that's good.
I get that, but why does it mean something to you,
exactly. Yeah.
I don't know.
And we'll see, I just...
What it comes down to is Star Wars now has to win the fans back over,
Yeah.
Because right now, I don't want to say most because I don't know how many it is. A large majority of the fan base right now is ready to call quits on anything that you put out right now, Disney. A large majority, people are happy with Mando, but there are times, we are huge fans, but the direction it's going, there are days when I'm like, you know what? I'm ready to just watch the prequels and the original trilogy and leave it at that.
Yeah.
They need to prove that there's a reason to watch other Star Wars that they're making.
Exactly.
And that's it,
Yeah.
What do you think about that? What do you think that they'll announce at the panel?
Mm-hmm.
If there is a panel, that is.
Yeah.
This is, again, all assuming that it will operate somewhat like a normal Comic-Con with announcements and such.
Yeah.
But, what do you think? Do you think it will happen? If so, what do you think they'll announce?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, let us know.
Definitely.
See you later.
See you later. The cat says goodbye.
Oh yeah, also we'll if it does get covered, we'll be talking about it. Same as Marvel. Goodbye.
Goodbye.